Hi, my name is Eric Latender. This is my little dog Martini. This is a book I wrote, Amazing Dog Training Man. And I wrote this book to help dog owners because a lot of times when we get a dog comes into the house, they start doing a lot of behaviors that we don't like, and we get confused. One big problem for dog owners is pulling on leash. They put the leash on and the dog just goes. A couple years back, I had a lady come into my office. She had two big black eyes. Her nose was all swollen. She sat down at my desk and she started bawling. And the reason she was crying was because her dog, a big 90-pound black lab, she was taking for a walk. She was just about to go outside when she stopped to talk to somebody in the house, and the dog was outside, she was inside, and the dog, her lab, saw a cat. So immediately he kicked it into first gear and took off. As he took off, she held onto the leash. Boom! She went face first right into the door jamb. So her eyes were all black and blue, and she was really upset. And she was upset because she loved her dog. She loved her black lab, but she could not walk him. She couldn't control him. So I sat down with her and says, "We can get your dog walking on leash." And I explained the concept of opposition reflex. There's a thing called opposition reflex, and basically this is what it is. If I apply pressure, the dog is going to apply counter pressure. So with your dog, if you push down on your dog's back, you ever try to get your dog into a down by pushing them? What do? They resist. They lock up. You push harder, they push harder. Put a leash on your dog. You ever notice how the leash is tight, the collar is choking the dog, and the dog's going, ha, ha, ha. And the harder you pull, the harder the dog pulls. Opposition reflex. I pull, the dog pulls. I pull harder, they pull harder. So the trick to walking your dog on leash is making sure there is no opposition reflex. That's really the trick to training, is you don't use force. You don't force your dog into position. You don't force your dog to walk on leash. You learn opposition reflex, and whenever the dog is resisting, you can stop and say, "Oops, I've just kicked in this reflex. I need to back up and get the dog under control, and I've got to make sure I'm not kicking in this opposition reflex." It's the same thing with humans. Humans, if you try to force somebody to do something, if you tell somebody, go home and tell your wife, go clean the house or go do something, right? Chances are they're going to resist. And as you apply pressure, they're going to apply more. So it works mentally and it works physically. With dogs, obviously it's physically. So you always have to remember, don't kick in the opposition reflex. Avoid opposition reflex and you'll get much better training results. You can learn more about opposition reflex from my book, The Amazing Dog Training Man, because I give the first 4 chapters away free. If you go to AmazingDogTrainingBook.com, I'll send you the first 4 chapters. You can read it. You'll get better results with your dog, and you'll be very happy. So thanks for watching this video, and good luck training your dog.